See, I think that people are they're born with the perfect level. In fact, I was talking about this last night in the new Sukkah discussion. You're born on a certain level, and that education ruins you. And so basically, I received my Torah in the womb. I don't need my Torah out here. I know the Torah. What I've been taught out here in Christian schools in Goyish world is only like intellect, like Columbus discovered America in 1490, facts and stuff like this. But the real essence I was taught in the womb. See? So it's a lot of great philosophers and gurus have said, forget everything you ever learned. Forget everything. You see, I recognize within you, when I first saw you, you're a perfect person. Forget the externals. Internal. And so in the final analysis, the Yehida level, the fifth level, is not outside. When God projected his essence to the world, the Keter was out there. The Keter isn't. You understand? The Keter is where Malkus is for us. God's Keter is Malkus. That's why it's Keter Malkus. You understand what I'm saying? And so the point is, the essence of us is inherent in us in birth. And I've reverted back to, like my father used to have as his, I feel very young inside. You understand? I feel like because I identify as a 9-year-old. I think I'm 9 years old. My father used to identify as a 17-year-old in his high school yearbook picture with the basketball and everything. And like I asked the girl last night, what did she identify as? She's a 19-year-old. See? So no matter how old a person gets, I'm still 9 years old. My essence underneath. So my goof and my neshama can age, can die. I'm not dead. My thing is going on. Never left. It's 9 years old. And so what I'm doing is returning in these studies to my essence. And for essence, you don't need to spend years studying books. Rabbi asked me about, that's what the person who studied the books, who studied the Arizal. That's him. I said, I'm a Kabbalist. I receive into those levels that are within me. It's not that the Chaya and the Yehida are or Makif. Those are the essence levels within me. The deep core.
Oh, look.
That's why.
All the milk is not good. Nissan.
Yeah.
The milk is not good.
Understand? My essence is there. It's timeless.
How do you know? Look.
I'm going to die. It means nothing.
Look.
It means nothing. I'm not dying. I was never born. I'm not dying. The external shell. And so that's where I am. So when I read these things, I said that go ahead. What do you call it? These external things. These are lists to show you different levels. And if you read them, you see, well, if somebody takes your money, take a gun, kill him. Oh, I'm studying Judaism all my life to do that. That's what an animal does. Take my... But if I realize that the whole thing came from Hashem, including that incident, to test me, to give me the opportunity to get to the level that I'm really at, by being a Jew, that's my point. That's why I don't belong. These people are like, not him, the people sitting here in the class. And quite frankly, the rabbi too. you know. That's why I don't know what to do, you know. I don't know what to do. I like to study. I came to Sukkah last night. We started Sukkah. I bring everything back to the letter Kaf in Sukkah. I think the Rebbe used to say, bring everything back to the letters. I've brought it back to the letter Kaf. If you do the first Mishnah, you see the whole thing is it's the letter Kaf. Sakach. And Kaf itself is 20. And it can't be higher than 20. And 20, and then it can't be lower than 10, which is Yud Vav Dalet. It's a Yud, which is 20. And then the Kaf is Kaf Pei, it's 100. That's the gematria of Sakach, which is the whole big deal of Sukkah. So it's the letter Kaf. It's the palms. That's why there are two Kafs in Sakach. Because you're dealing a palm. There's a palm. You're under the sukkah when you're wearing a yarmulke. So I mean, what am I doing? Writing a new language here? Writing a new religion? If it's not obvious, that all the greats, the Baal Shem Tov said it. All the greats have said, bring it back to the letters. It's in the letters. All you have to do, teach people the letters. There's a Kaf. I'm under the palm. And I say it, and the reactions are like I'm making things up. I'm bringing back to letters what the Rebbe said to do. It's like I'm a stranger. So what am I supposed to do? That's my point. So I'm screwed. It's not that I'm not happy. And then, what's his name's completely right, Rabbi Nachman Breslov. You're supposed to be besimcha all the time. The reason you should be besimcha is because you realize that you're 9 years old. I played in the sand pile. I ran in the streets. Understand what I'm saying? School, they tried to teach me how to read. I had a reading block because reading is not necessary. I'm speaking now. Nobody teaches you how to speak. You have to be taught how to read. And that's the first mistake. And that's what blocks us off and gives us problems. Jews too, because they're the people of the book. You didn't have a book in the womb when they taught you the whole Torah. How'd they teach it to you there? No book. So, and then they come out and you have to relearn it from a book. And then show me this this is a star, like it's like a fact, and that it's written, and they're not even willing to interpret the written. They take it as a mamish. All writing, this is what you learn in school. I was an English major. All writing. In fact, Wallace Stevens says the greatest truth is fiction. Fiction writing. It's the greatest truth because you get to the essence of the person. So when he's writing a fiction story, he can get to his real essence. He's writing a story like what happened during the day, can't get to that real essence. But if you write a novel, that's the real truth. Because words are expressions. Like I could say, I hate you. I don't hate you. You can tell from the tone. So if it says in the book, I hate you, then you show me the book, it's hatred. That's not what it was meant. Get me? You do. That's what I'm telling it to you. And what I'm telling you to you is Torah. What I just explained, I wouldn't have taken your time here. Go ahead, man. I wouldn't have taken your time. Take my word for it. Studying 50 years is garbage what they're teaching these people. Garbage. They're keeping them from it. I do believe in the coming of Mashiach. But you have to break it. You have to break the pattern that didn't come. You can't perpetuate. Can't perpetuate this all day long. You know, there used to be a man that used to be on 57th Street. He used to have a little card case. He had he was a repetition compulsion guy. He stayed on 57th Street, and all day long he went like this. Do you want a card case? 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 This person paid. Do you want a card case? Do you want a card case? That's all he said. He was known 20 years. That's the point. If that methodology doesn't get you there, that means there has to be a different methodology. If you can't see that it's a repetition compulsion, that we're just teaching the wrong way, let's see what Rashi has to say, instead of saying what Stephen has to say, who's alive today. Or let's see, the Arizal. The Arizal was a Kabbalist, a genius. Well, I can't go and quote the Arizal as I do a Torah sugya. Each person receives. I received today. That's what I told him last night. I'm a Kabbalist. I receive. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's all. And I'm getting in touch with my higher neshamas, my higher Yehida and neshama, because I see that the nefesh just dies. And the nefesh ages. These people that you see in the street, I know these people. You know, you see them, they look like 80 years old. Inside, they think they're 10. They think they're kids. There's no aging in the self. When they talk about, I always wonder, psychology talks about the self as opposed to the ego. The self is not something to acquire. The self was always there. Is that you have to get rid of the ego to get to the self. See? So to get to the self, it was always there. You know who you are. You know if you like a girl or not, if you see her. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How are you?
Go ahead.
Hey man, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
So that's it. I'm going to put this on if you don't mind. You didn't say you're not in the
Okay.
picture.